And now a very quick glimpse at some of the highlights from the Non-Designer's Design Book, Chapter 3 on Alignment by Robin Williams. And she notes that one of the things that separates amateurish looking documents from professional documents most frequently has to do with the alignment of the elements on the page. She advocates for, especially for new designers, inexperienced designers, having one alignment, whether it be left aligned, right aligned, center aligned, and sticking with that throughout a document or a consistent portion of the document. She also advocates not being a wimp, pushing it. Let's see here. On the page on the left, I know you probably can't read the text, but it's this first item on the upper left, on the left-hand page. It's a return to the great variety of readers. That's the title. The subtitle, The History and Future of Reading Shakespeare. At the middle of the page by Patricia May Williams, and then the date. That looks like an assignment turned in for a class. Looks like a title page. Same information, but in the example on the right-hand side of the left page, look at how much more professional that looks by, yes, there's some contrast, and there is between the font, the bold font, and the font that isn't bold, and also proximity, the separation of the elements, but doesn't that look sharper, that sharp left alignment? And she notes you should be able to take a ruler or draw a line on the page and have a strong alignment. Look sharper. On the right hand side of the page, a few examples of letterhead. The one on the upper left, everything's centered. It looks reasonable. It's enclosed in a frame, but compare that to what's on the top right, a little sharper and edgier, more interesting, having everything on a sharp left alignment, even the dotted line, instead of having a enclosed box just on the one side, leaving the right open, or even the one on the bottom right there, everything right aligned. It looks sharper, snappier, edgier, more interesting. As she says here below, I don't know if you can read that, but be brave, be bold, experiment. On these two pages, they're not dramatically different, but just the alignment of the headlines on the left-hand page, the headlines are centered and the paragraphs are indented. As we would, that's what you do when you're typing a paper. That's what academic, notice that the visual is centered there too. But on the right-hand side, with the strong left alignment, the title's on the left, the paragraph begins on the left. Look at those two. I mean, which one looks sharper to you? Having the visual there, not just centered in the column. Well, it may be centered, but it's with the strong left alignment and strong right alignment. This was left justified. Over here with the columns, they're left and right justified. So we have over here one line, we have centering here, a sharp line on the left, ragged edge on the right, but I mean it's a huge contrast there. Very small things. These two little examples of business cards, as I said in the previous video, new designers have a tendency to want to fill up all the space. You've got to, if there's some blank space, then that's a problem. But we have multiple alignments here. At the one at the top of the page, we have centered alignment, nice visuals. It's not a bad design at all. The address here in the lower left is left aligned, telephone number and website is right aligned. There are 3 different alignments in the same document. Compare that to the one at the bottom, which has much more white space here, only has one visual that takes up more of the page, but the majority of the text is right aligned. It's much more interesting. And then I give you again the page of summary from this chapter. I sure hope you have the text. I think going forward I'm going to make this a required text rather than recommend it, because I think it's so important. But you can read this on the PowerPoint if you don't have the text or don't have it yet. But I wanted to share two. This is a flyer from the experiential learning program at Middle Georgia State, one of our more important and more visible initiatives. And I'm not picking on them. And when in a class that focuses more on these nuts and bolts elements, I bring some of my own documents and say, gosh, yeah, look at how lame that is. But it's a very well designed document. It's professional. It has incredible graphics. Yeah, you can't see, but it's printed on nice paper. It's really well done. But look at how everything here is center aligned. This is the back of the brochure, left aligned. That's somewhat interesting. Center aligned here. The cover is center aligned. The other side of the page, everything, it just loses pop. It looks busy. If some of these, if there was a more daring and consistent at something other than being center aligned, I think, well, I hope you get the idea here. So, okay, that's it for alignment, and we will look at repetition and contrast coming up soon.